Season 20 is the best CGI season ever. I don't even know where to start with this one. This season does so many things right and executes them so brilliantly that I don't even know what to start with. The fact that Diesel and the Ducklings is my least favorite episode. It's great that Ari and Bert finally got a big role after so long, but being the big, tough Diesels they are, who usually work in a place engines only have nightmares about, it's all the more weird that they would be softies when Ducklings are in their presence. Same thing for Diesel. It's just weird. And once again, he is bullying steam engines just because that's what he thinks Diesel should be like.
Why does he always have to act like that?
You have just read my mind. That, along with Three Steam Engines Gruff, the Hugo episodes, Love Me Tender, and Saving Time, are the only episodes I wasn't really that fond of. But every single other episode was amazing. That's right, I even liked the way she does it and Sydney sings. The latter because, well, that's what Sydney is, isn't it? Excluding the Nitrogen era, where they did absolutely nothing with him, Sydney was always portrayed as a forgetful engine. There isn't another forgetful engine on the show, so that makes him unique, and his forgetfulness was amusing anyways. And the former, Daisy was acting snobby, fussy, and full of herself, but hasn't that been her character the whole time? Highly sprung, truly modern, would rather want the passengers to ride in her instead of Annie and Clarabelle? When those passengers are special performers, puppeteers or not, I'd say that it's natural for it to go into her smoke box. Or, generator? Plus, the Fat Controller didn't straight up say she was going to be delivering some puppeteers to a puppet show. He said,
some very special passengers.
Or, more specifically,
a group of entertainers while they put on a show.
He didn't say puppet show, he just said show. He also told her,
now then, Daisy, I want you at your very best.
So all of those scenes of Daisy abandoning her regular passengers, she was just obeying what the Fat Controller had told her, and to give the entertainers the best ride she can deliver. So, yeah, it's all justifiable to me. There are so many great episodes this season. Funny stories like Buckle Tracks and Bumpy Trucks, All in Vain and Pouty James. Suspenseful stories like Letters to Santa and Blown Away. Stories with extraordinary character interactions like in The Railcar and the Coaches and Toby's New Friend. Straight up adaptations of Railway series stories, something we haven't had on the show for 22 years at this point.
We've got visitors today.
Oh, we have them every day.
But these are special. One takes moving pictures and the other writes books.
I don't want to be a moving picture in a book. I want to stay as I am.
And, just like in Season 18, there are plenty of episodes that can be connected with each other and be considered arcs. Like there's The Railcar and the Coaches, The Way She Does It, and Ryan and Daisy as one, Pouty James and All in Vain, Skiff and the Mermaid, Blown Away and the Missing Breakdown Train, Engine of the Future and Hugo and the Airship, The Christmas Coffee Pot and Over the Hill, and, obviously, Tit for Tat, Mike's Whistle, and Useful Railway. And unlike Season 19, Thomas doesn't get a speaking role in every single episode. He still is in every single episode this season, but some of his appearances are just non-speaking background cameos. And besides, most of this season is centered on either side characters like Connor, Samson, and Sydney, new characters, and returning characters. And holy fucking Christ, there are loads of them. Ryan is a great character. He has a nice design, he's very helpful, and he's very relatable for some people when he's a pushover sometimes. Although, I don't know why they hired Eddie Redmayne to voice Ryan in Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure if they were going to replace his voice role with a cheaper actor anyway.
Waste of money.
It's quite hard to hate Skiff. His design may be a bit weird to some. I mean, a piece of wood with a face on it, but his character makes up for it. Fun, upbeat, always positive, and fascinated by the world around him. Glyn was really interesting. Not only does he have an intriguing backstory, but the way he sees the state of modern railways compared to how Thomas's branch line was like back in the day is just as interesting, especially when they paired him up with Stephen, an engine just as old and on the same field as Glyn. It just surprises me that they didn't decide to bring Glyn back into modern times until now and not in season 19. And the same thing goes to Judy and Jerome. Were they always sleeping in that siding at Knapford the whole time? It's kinda hard to miss two giant olive green breakdown cranes in the middle of a busy railway yard. I was gobsmacked on the fact that they had brought Mike, Rex, and Bert into the CGI series. These were characters we have wanted to see on the show for years, but certain limitations had kept that dream from becoming a reality. Until now. Their personalities from the Railway series book they came from were translated perfectly for the TV screen. Mike is often grumpy and gets cross easily, Rex is overconfident but has a good sense of humor, and Bert is kind and friendly but isn't afraid to pay people back when they've insulted him. Bradford is amusing as hell, a stern, bossy brake van who encourages engines to follow the rules thoroughly, the same way a drill sergeant treats his subjects. That's such a clever idea. Bradford is basically the opposite of what Toad is, but he is doing all this for the safety of engines, like Toad. And Hugo exists. For some reason. He's not really a bad character by any means, although he is a bit on the bland side. But I just don't see a point on bringing him in. Hugo never appears in the show again at any point after this season, so yeah. But God, that's only half of it. They had also shined a fair spotlight on the massive amount of returning characters from Lost Treasure as well. Donald and Douglas are questionable in the Brenner era. Firstly, in Lost Treasure, they were both voiced by Joe Mills.
We only went to collect some more rails and sleepers. Hi, so you can build some more track, that's all.
But in the series, Joe Mills only voices Douglas, while Rob Rackstraw voices Donald.
I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't just go and do the exact opposite of whatever I says.
Wish you always do what you want to do, and that's all there is to it.
I don't quite get it. These two are meant to be twins, and if you were to take away their nameplates, you wouldn't know which one is which. So should they both be voiced by the same actor? They did it with Bill and Ben, why not these two? And second, everyone agrees that their characters in the CGI series have been somewhat ruined. The reason the incident in their introductory stories happened was because they deeply care for each other, and they didn't want either one of each other to be sent away for scrap. But here, they are constantly bickering with each other. I wouldn't mind it that much if it was only for this one episode, but no, they do it again next season as well. I don't know what the writers were thinking with this. Max and Monty, on the other hand, are twin characters whose personalities are still intact. Reckless dump trucks who like to cause trouble, even if they didn't know they have. The rest of the pack, Jack, Alfie and Oliver, haven't really been given much compared to Max and Monty, but for what they did give us, they were portrayed pretty well, I think, particularly with Oliver being the stern voice of reason. And I know they only appeared in just one episode, but would it have hurt them to just make a little tiny Miss Jenny model? The episode Mucking About implies that Oliver is the one in charge of the job. Shouldn't that role have gone to Miss Jenny, or at the very least, a foreman? Sorry, that's just a nitpick. But my favourite character this season is, without a doubt, Daisy, the diesel rail car. After seeing her shocking reveal at the very end of Lost Treasure, I was hella excited to see what they were going to do with her and Ryan, and her 3 lead episodes this season didn't disappoint. It's so enjoyable seeing her being high and mighty, displaying a high opinion of herself, and boasting to other engines and coaches about how modern and revolutionary she is. And seeing her get her comeuppance later. She can manipulate someone as eager and kind as Ryan with suggestive blinking to do her work for her because of her high opinion. But I do like that she learns the error of her ways at the end of Ryan and Daisy, and she accepts Ryan as a partner on the branch line. And Tracy Ann Oberman does such a lovable voice performance, one that is really fun to do.
You have to wait for an engine to come along. So old-fashioned and out of date. And Liverpool coaches.
The animation is just as detailed and high quality as Season 19's animation, with nice weather effects, gorgeous scenery, expressive facial expressions, and fluid human animations. I really like the amount of sets they had used or created here. The Harwick branch line, Hillsborough Harbour, the Blue Mountain Quarry, Farquhar Station, which I apologise for not mentioning last time, Harwick Station, the Watermill, and all the locations on the miniature railway. I also noticed that this season is much faster paced than Season 19 was. There were none of those moments from last time where there was no dialogue or narration. These stories keep on going because there is so much to show and say. But this pacing isn't awful. Far from it. It's not too fast so that it's hard to follow, but it's also not too slow so that it's boring. I think they have properly taken full advantage of the 9 minutes they have. The music is really interesting. This is the first of 5 seasons where the music is done by a new composer, Chris Renshaw. His music sounds a lot livelier than Robert Harnshaw's music, but it's still enjoyable to listen to. He still uses a whole arrangement of instruments, different genres for the background music, and I really like that he is giving the characters individual character themes and reusing them in different versions each time they appear. And the vocal songs? Glenn's Christmas Wish is actually really good. The music is nice and Christmassy, the singer is decent, the lyrics are alright, and I like that this is the first song in ages where the song is telling us a story from what happened in the show. In this case, the Christmas coffee pot. And It's Halloween is Actually, one of the better songs of the Brenner era. There's a different than usual singer present, the beat is catchy, it has the usual sinister feel most Halloween songs have, and I like that they did their own take on the ending of Thriller at the end.
Yeah. Trick or treat.
Wow. I don't think the CGI series can get any better than season 20. Detailed animation, amazing stories, great new characters, nice old characters, beautiful locations, really funny humor, faithful Railway series adaptations, and loads of interesting ideas and developments. I don't think I really would have minded if they had just ended the series here, like they were originally going to. They had put so much love, passion, and detail into everything this season that it would have been the perfect place to end it all. But considering this is one of Mattel's biggest cash cow franchises, they refused to let that happen, and so another season was greenlit. And this next season is where things begin to change. For the worst.